Hey, folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Thursday, February 3rd, 2011. Well, folks, let's get into the action here. The markets, again, a little bit of a volatile ride this morning as the markets dumped sharply down to the 200 moving average on the intraday 10-minute SPY chart. The SPY, again, mirrors the S&P 500. Notice, again, the sharp sell. Really right around 10 o'clock, the sharpness began here as we dropped all the way down, touching and kissing that 200. Look at the size of the bounce. At that point, I called the low of the day in the market. So far, that has been dead on. All right, and again, obviously, you'd be a buyer at the 200 moving average. Obviously, why? Well, because it's the 200. It's the first hit of the 200. Look at the size of the bounce you would have gotten if you took that trade like we called out in the intraday stock chat. And again, folks, great trades here. Whether you're an intraday stock chat member or a research center member, there were great trades today. The other trade that I just want to point out here before we get further into the analysis was Ford Motor Company. This was a fantastic one. I put the alert out earlier in the week to buy Ford, symbol F, if it hits gap fill right here. Gap fill was a major level. If you bought it at $15.18 to $15.20, you got just about at the low of the day. Sure enough, no sooner had it hit and crossed that level briefly than it bounced back up 45 cents. That's correct, folks. 45-cent bounce so far. And at this point, we've advised our members of the Research Center to take half off the table for a 45 to 50-cent gain, hold the rest with a break-even stop and a target of a bounce back over $16. And that's how it's done, folks. We literally pick the spots in the Research Center. You get everything included under that Research Center, and trades like this come and go pretty much every day. So the charts will dictate what to do. We just notify you based on the charting, and we give you an explanation and give you the education on it and give you the call. You trade it, you make money. All right, and again, join that research center. Take the free trial today, and let's get back to the spiders. Now, the markets, again, are on the flat line after early selling. The Dow is down 3 points. NASDAQ is down 1 point. S&P is down about 1 point as well. And the key is, and this is the daily chart, but I want to flip to the intraday. The key is, again, markets opened around the flat line and sold sharply. The reason they sold sharply was because the dollar took off to the upside. A major move up in the dollar took place. And that just crushes the market. Remember, every video I've done for the last year almost, I feel like every time I've mentioned the inverse relationship between the dollar and the markets. It continues to be that way. So again, as the dollar shot higher, the markets came in. Take a look at the UUP chart, which is the dollar ETF. Look at this move up right here today. And that's exactly what was going on. This 3-bar surge on the UUP, which is the dollar, corresponds perfectly with the 3-bar surge, 2-bar move to the downside here to the 200. And then once the dollar made a high and started to pull back, the markets rallied all the way back up to the flat line or just below the flat line. Spiders are down 10 cents on the day right now, which to me is a flat day. All right, 10 cents plus 10 cents minus 10 cents, flat day, same thing. All right. Now, again, the buy here on an intraday scalping opportunity was the 200 moving average. That's obvious. You know, you can see very clearly that that was a perfect hit. As you've come up here, one thing I want to just point out, you do have an in spirit of bullish pattern development here on the SPY. And again, if you look at this pattern, the pattern looks like it wants to trade higher, and it wouldn't shock me to see this spiders go positive today when all is said and done. All right, and again, some different runners today. What are some other things going pretty strongly as the dollar moves up or it has a little bit of an update? Gold is also having a great move. The Egyptian protests and violence have continued to escalate, although the markets still don't seem to be that freaked out by it, but it is sending gold higher, even with the dollar being slightly higher as well. The USO, which is oil, is trading flattish today, down about 10 cents, kind of in line with the markets, and we continue to see that trading just in a sideways pattern to slightly lower the last couple of days. It's actually consolidation. You would call it consolidation off the massive move up. Take a look at this. Here's your massive move up. There's your consolidation. That's called in spirit of bullish consolidation. You have the 200 creeping up underneath on the intraday chart. That could yield a little bit of a move up. I wouldn't be surprised to see oil move up in the coming days a little bit off this consolidation pattern. All right. So again, that's what we have going on right now. Let me just continue to breeze through some other charts. We'll go back to the SPY. One chart I just want to bring up to you guys right now. We want to take a look at Apple Computer. Apple had a sharp drop today, but has rallied all the way back. And it's amazing because these type of drops, I mean, the market seems to, when it drops, to be a very cataclysmic drop. I mean, the point where the bottom just falls out of these things. But then all of a sudden, that propping comes in. You have the Federal Reserve. I think the Federal Reserve bought almost $9 billion in treasuries today. I mean, just an insane amount of treasuries. And that's, remember, that's POMO. That's QE2. They're coming in. They're supporting the markets. They're pushing that multi-billion dollars into the banks. The banks are then obviously putting that money to work. The banks just don't leave that in the account. I mean, they put that money into work, and remember, they can lend out multiple amounts more or use multiple amounts more than that as well. So that money then gets put into the market, which props it up, and again, that's just a cycle that continues to rotate around. The artificial asset bubble continues to be created by the Federal Reserve. All right. So again, just keep that in mind. I think that's important to understand. But right now, even on Apple, you have that bullish in spirit of pattern. But look at the massive drop today. It's interesting because this drop took you right into this gap fill area. See this area right here? If you were a buyer right here, for instance, you would have gotten just about the low of the day at gap fill on Apple. It pierced by a little bit, but look at the reverse move to the upside. And by the way, this gap fill is the same thing, just on an intraday chart that we used for the Ford Motor Company call on the daily chart that I just showed you guys before that made so much money for us so far today. Here's a gap fill, same thing, gap fill, and then blast off. If you go to the Apple chart on an intraday basis, and let's flip back to the intraday, take a look. Gap fill, blast off. So this is one of the classic patterns that you want to utilize if you're looking at this video for educational purposes. Understand this one pattern. It's a pattern that, if used correctly, can literally make you money about 9 out of every 10 times. And obviously the 10th time, in case it doesn't work, which sometimes it doesn't on a flush, you just maintain a normal stop and you continue to profit better than anyone else out there on the street, including institutions. And again, that's the goal here, folks. Bottom line is, how much profit do you have in your pocket after you trade? If you're not making money, if you're flat on trading, you should be in the research center, in the chat room, making money with us, learning. We teach. That's our goal here. More than anything else, I want to educate. And again, we'll give obviously swing trades along the way, as we always do. We'll give you lots of other things. But the education portion, we're going to teach you how to fish, not just give you that fish to eat with. Okay? And again, just a couple other charts to pop up here. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon is basically flat on the day. If I zoom in, you can see this is your intraday action. You can see Amazon had a nice fall too, then a nice pop, now consolidating. JP Morgan is slightly lower today, down about 21 cents. Same type of fall. You can see every chart has this early morning fall where the market's collapsed, but then since then it's come back up. Bull flag kind of formation here as well, looking on JP Morgan on the intraday chart as well. All right, let me just scan through, see if there's anything else. Small cap wise, Converted Organics had a nice little move today on a little bit of news, trading up about 7%. That's one we've talked about in the intraday stock chat. IBM continues to inch towards a key level of around 165. I think that's going to be resistance on IBM. And Intel's up a little bit. Research in Motion's having a good day. Chevron's up 11 cents while Exxon's down about 44 cents. Exxon had that really big move, I think it was Tuesday, of $3+. And since then, it's kind of just pulled back just a tiny bit, giving up a little bit or seeing some profit taking come in. Goldman Sachs down $1.75. Overall, pretty quiet. We did get the jobless claims today. Jobless claims coming in 415,000. That's a non-event, though. Remember, jobless claims pale in comparison to the unemployment rate and non-farm payrolls tomorrow. We will be doing a No Hype Live broadcast tomorrow as well. You can view that live charts, live broadcast, live analysis, live trades in the morning session at 8:20 a.m. You have to be a Research Center member to access that. So again, join us now at inthemoneystocks.com. All right, folks, so that's what we're seeing here. And again, we'll keep you guys posted. Anything new, we will update you, obviously, to the Research Center members, number one, and chat room also. But obviously, we'll keep you guys posted in the free stuff of anything that looks interesting as well. Take care. Join the Research Center. Join the chat room. Talk to you tomorrow.